Hello, welcome to our first lesson in Chapter 8 on factoring. Now, the first thing I want you to notice is we are factoring in the form of x squared plus bx plus c. In other words, there is no number in front of the x. So we will first be dealing with what would essentially be a 1x squared. All right, so we can write some trinomials in this form as the product of two binomials. So to understand how we do this, let's look at x plus 4 times quantity x plus 3, and we will FOIL that. So we're going to do firsts, x times x is x squared. Outers, 3 times x is 3x. Inners, 4 times x is 4x. And lasts, sorry, I didn't do lasts. Lasts, 4 times 3 is 12. And now we are at this point, so we combine our like terms. So the x squared is fine by itself. 3x's plus 4x's are 7x's. And then we've got our 12. So now, notice in our simplified answer that the value of b is 7. In general, b is always going to be the sum of the numbers in the binomials. Notice also that your simplified answer for c is 12. In general, c is always going to be the product of the numbers in the binomial, right? Again, this only works when the value of x is a 1x. There's no other digit or number in front of the x. All right, so just take that in. In this situation, the B answer is the sum of the 4 and the 3. And the C value is the product of the 4 and the 3. Okay? So let that process for a second, and we will move on to this next piece. So in order to help ourselves, we're going to fill out the following table to factor this problem and then check our answers. Okay, well, we know that the way to get that answer is I had to multiply two numbers. So what are the factors of 24? Well, I could go 1 and 24, or 24 and 1. And if I add 24 plus 1, that's 25. I could go 2 times 12 to get 24. And if I add 2 and 12, I get 14. I could take 3 times 8 to get 24, and if I add those, that's 11. Or I could take 4 times 6 to get 24, and if I add those, they are 10. So what I've just discovered is factors of 24 that add up to 10 are these right here. So what is, if I factor this one, what do I get? I get x plus 4 times x plus 6. Now, does it matter? Could I have written it this way? Absolutely. It's the exact same thing. So we factored it out. All right, so for number 2, I need to think about what are the ways that I can factor 15. So in other words, what do I multiply to get 15? Well, that could be 1 times 15, which if I add those up, that's 16. Or I could get 3 times 5, and if I add those up, I get 8. But now, danger, danger, Will Robinson, we should see right here that I have to somehow multiply two numbers and have them be a positive, but when I combine them, have them be a negative. So in that situation, I know that a positive times a positive is a positive, but I also know a negative times a negative is a positive. So in this situation, I'm going to have to go with this option, which tells me my answer is going to be x minus 5 times x minus 3. Now, how do I check my answer? Because that's really what I should do. Well, once I believe I've come up with the factored form, I should really now just go ahead and FOIL it. So firsts, outers, inners, lasts. And when I put them all together, I get that one. And again, does the order matter? Could I have said x minus 3 times x minus 5? Yep, absolutely. Both are correct. All right. Now, there's one more loop they can throw in. We can either have both of these be positive, we can have one be negative, one be positive, or next option, we have this where you see a subtract there and a subtract there. So we're not going to let that affect us initially. We're going to first write what are the factors of negative 21. So now I am taking into account this. So I could do negative 1 times 21. If I add that, that's 20. I could do 1 times negative 21. If I add that, I get negative 20. I could do 3, so I'll go negative 3 times 7. If I add that, I get 4. Or I could do 3 times negative 7, and if I add those, I get negative 4. Well, my target is multiply to get negative 21 and add to get negative 4. So this is the one that works for me. So now I know I need to make it x plus 3 times x minus 7. And again, best way to check, did I do this right? Firsts are x squared. Outers are minus 7x. Inners are plus 3x. And lasts make it minus 21. And when I simplify it, I get back to my original. Okay, so always make sure you're doing that check back in with it step so that you can be confident in what you are doing here. All right, so take a few minutes, review that, make sure you understand and you're really paying attention to those signs. And it is now your turn. Go ahead and do the 2 problems that I have included here for you, and we will talk about them next time in class. Thanks. Have a great day.